Hello and welcome to Survivor Social, the Survivor podcast where we discuss Survivor with the focus on the social elements of the game. My name is Cara, and today I'm here with my co-host Tori. Tori, how are you doing this week?
I'm doing really well, Kara. I'm so excited, as always, to be on here with you and our wonderful guest.
Yes. And yes, our guest, we are joined today with Mike Turner from Survivor 42. And first, before we do anything, I just want to say, let's go Mets. And
Let's go Mets. Yes, season starts March 26th. I'm ready to go into hibernation and watch my beloved Mets and build more character for myself because as a Met fan, you have to have strong character. It's a rough ride sometimes. But I'm
definitely.
excited to be here tonight and I'm ready to go. And let's talk some
Yeah.
social survivor.
How are you feeling about the season so far?
I love it. I think it's great. I think it has so many different vibes from all the eras of Survivor. It gives you a little old era vibe. You get some new era vibe, and I think the players that I think the biggest thing that everybody wondered about was how would old Survivor players mix with the new era players. And I think it's going well. I think that they're vibing. I think they're talking. There's no straight line. There's no line in the sand dividing the players from different eras, which I love. Everybody's willing to work with everybody, and it almost seems like it's seamless, which is a lot of fun. Especially as a new era player, with I have old era vibes, and so I love when I see that. When I see, the coach and Sari and Ozzy, and then they're talking with Q and all these new era players that you get to know.
Yeah, it's so fun to see them all interact. But before we dig into the episode, make sure everyone who's watching like and subscribe to Survivor Now on YouTube. And as a reminder, we are live right now, so if you have any questions, send them in the chat and we'll get to them a little later in the episode. So, yeah, let's just get right into it. So, the episode starts out and basically the first thing that happens is they get tree mail where they're starting to think that it could be a tribe swap. So this has Christian and Rick start talking about like maybe we should let the rest of our alliance know about this idol and how we should go about it. So we see them telling Sari about it and she's excited about it, and they also make a point to say that Rick actually found it and not Christian, which I thought was interesting. What did you guys
Yeah,
think of them doing that instead?
I'm not sure. It's funny. I'm not sure I understand exactly why they did it. I know why Christian said he did. He says that way and then they know you're the idol finder, and it'll be good if you do it. And he in his confessionals, he's saying, you know, hey, I take the stigma of having found an idol off of me. I'm not sure why Rick agreed, but to be fair, I would have agreed too because I don't find it that much of as a disadvantage of finding an idol. I mean, especially if you can explain, yeah, it was just right there. I didn't go looking at it. It almost punched me in the face. So I'm not sure I understand it as much, but it's good gameplay. I like it. It's switching things up.
Yeah, and it's a little less threatening to say you found this one because they don't actually have it. Like they had to give it
Yeah.
away, you know? So
I got to be honest with you. I'm not crazy about the Billie Eilish boomerang. And not because it's Billie Eilish and not because it's a boomerang, but because do you know how rare it is to find an idol on Survivor? And then you find it. You get the euphoria. I found it. Oh my God. You already think I'm safe. No way I'm going home. You're cheering to yourself. And then you open it up and you got to give it away. And you got to hope, right? You got to hope the person you give it to gets voted off or doesn't use it. I don't know.
mhm.
It's deflating if you find one because it's so, as you know, and I, from being out there, people like when you see us find the idols, which I found one, they're not easy to find. I mean, you're literally, it's like a needle in a haystack. And when you do find one, it's one of the greatest things in Survivor that can happen to a player is you find your idol. And you feel a little safe, you feel a little power, you feel a lot of nostalgia, you feel one of your bucket list items, and then they take it off of you. Not
Yeah,
fun.
it's funny you say that because I do think that we see in all the players' faces that have found those, I do feel like we see that a little bit in them. Like they see something, they get excited, they're wondering, what could this advantage be? Is it something new since it's Survivor 50? And then you're right, like they do have to give it away. However, I am excited to see like how their strategies work out. But I do think, like, going back to Christian and Rick really quick, I do think that, like, they wanted to lie about this, in my opinion, because they wanted to make sure it didn't seem like they were just, like, saying it to, like, throw somebody off, and, like, I don't know, I feel like if they would have said Christian had found it, I don't think that that wouldn't have been believable. Like, if somebody told me out there, I think I would just believe whoever said found it. But I do think that they wanted to make sure that people didn't think they were just trying to like plant something. But I was surprised that Rick went along with it so easily. Like, to me,
Yeah,
it's kind of
Mhm.
similar to like saying that, oh, you're going to be the decoy vote, you
I
know?
agree with that 100%. But you know
Yeah.
what? I think Rick and Christian give me the vibe that they're just doing dumb things just to have fun. Hey, let's hide it. You fall. Hey, let's say you. I think they're just saying there are a lot of things in Survivor that haven't been done yet. And they're like, let's do some iconic stuff so that way we have fun, which I love. To be honest with you, I love it. I love that they're having a good time. They feel good about it and they're doing stuff that is very daring and stuff that, quite frankly, we haven't seen yet on Survivor.
Yeah, and Christian did mention how he doesn't know Aubrey, but Rick does. So I guess I could see that being making sense why Rick would have given it to her. But also, I feel like if Rick was thinking about that, that kind of could be a red flag. Like, oh, like they have a pre-existing relationship. Maybe that's not something good for everyone else. But I guess everyone kind of knows each other, so maybe it doesn't matter.
Yeah, everybody has an idea of each other. That's for sure.
Hmm.
You know, no matter you meet, it's the circles. You always meet in these circles, and you at least know people, even if you don't know them intimately. You know them.
Yeah. It'll be exciting to see what happens with it. And then they get to the like little challenge area and Jeff asks everyone to start snapping, give him a little beat, and then he starts to rap. Mike, what did you think about this moment?
I laughed my ass off. I thought it was funny as hell. It was surprisingly really good and rhythmic.
Mhm.
And it was. I thought it was pretty. I thought it was amazing. And you know what he did? He lulled everybody into this happy euphoria. Yeah, we're having a good time. He's rapping, and then he hits him with the hammer on the head and say, "Drop your buffs." And then it's like everyone. It's like the car stopped, and now we're getting real. So, but I thought, listen, I thought it was funny. I thought it was different. This is fun, Jeff. Jeff said, he wants season 50 to be about fun and everybody having a good time. And clearly, he's having a good time, which is, way different from the early seasons when he seemed like he was angry all the time and telling people like snappy stuff and we're done when you get out of here. And so, yeah, listen, it's fun. And you know what the truth is? Jeff has evolved with the game. The game has evolved. And the only constant in this world is change. And if you don't change, you're going to become stagnant. And Survivor is definitely not stagnant.
Yeah. Tori, what did you think about the Jeff rap?
So I like what you said, Mike. Like, Jeff is trying to do something different, he's trying to be upbeat, but I kind of found it a little cringe. And no shade at Jeff. I love Jeff. Like a lot of people, say stuff on the internet about Jeff. I love Jeff. I still think he's a great host, best host to ever do it on reality TV or any other TV. But I found the song a little cringy. I understand from my perspective. I was like, okay, like Jeff has said time and again that he wants to make this a family show. He wants, the younger audience to be pulled in, and I get that. But he has to remember that not only is a lot of his audience still like an older audience or like, a my age audience or whoever, but a lot of the older fans are probably tuning in for 50 that haven't tuned in for a long time. And a lot of them are probably like, all right, what the hell is this?
Yeah.
Like,
I'm actually glad you just said that because I have to ask you a question, Tori. Explain to me what cringy really means, because cringy to me, like I understand if somebody said it was corny. Now, so when I was corny, it'd be corny in my era. But now I say stuff and my daughter goes, "Dad, you're being cringy." And I think cringy is not like a really bad thing. I like being corny, but I don't like being cringy. So I'm not sure if cringy and corny are the same thing. So I need your help, Tori. What does the definition of cringy in this?
All right. No, I'm glad you're asking me this. And you can tell your daughter that you know now that cringy kind of means just sort of like it makes you kind of like have a little secondhand embarrassment in a way. Like it's kind of like you
Oh,
did something and it's like,
Mhm.
oh, that like made me feel
oh, so
something.
it is corny. Okay, good. So it
Yeah,
almost
it's like the same.
okay. I'm
Oh,
embarrassed
yeah.
for him because he's saying something so corny or cringy that I'm like, oh my God, you can't be doing this. I'm okay, got it.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Mhm.
Okay, thank you.
I got you.
Yeah.
Yeah, I needed that. Thank you. Because I get called cringy a lot, and I think I'm doing something bad. It's just I'm being corny, and I'm okay with that.
Nah, you're not
Yeah.
cringy. You're not.
Okay, good.
Tell your
Thank you.
daughter.
I feel like it was just so unexpected for him to just break out into song like that. But you know what? His voice wasn't that bad. So there was that.
Yeah, it wasn't terrible.
It's fun,
But
Jeff.
yeah,
Having a good time.
it's
Yep.
he's fun, Jeff. And then he tells them to drop their buffs and they pick new buffs and we get 3 new tribes. So we have the new Callow tribe, which is Aubrey, Joe, Genevieve, Coach, Chrissy, Colby, and Tiffany. The new Sela tribe with Charlie, Dee, Rizzo, Camilla, Jonathan, Suri, and Devins. And then the new Vatu tribe with Christian, Mike, Emily, Ozzy, Stephanie, Q, and Angelina. What did you both think about these new tribes and the tribe split? Anything stand out to either of you?
Well, the one thing that stands out right away is you had the David and Goliath alliance in that one tribe. I forgot
Mhm.
which one they were, but you had
Unfunctional
Christian, you had
or
Mike, and
Uncle.
you had Angelina. You had a core three right there, and then they're thinking they're gonna pull Emily in, right? And so
Yep.
they're in great shape. I mean, think about it. How could they have a better tribe swap for them? And
Yeah.
they feel good. I would be feeling good if I was any one of them three. And Emily. Emily's the fourth, but still, And by the way, speaking of, Emily's got me a little nervous out there. She's doing a lot of things and
Yeah.
saying loose lips.
She was right in the middle of that whole tribe because on one side, Q and Stephanie want to work with her. But I mean, the bad thing is Q didn't have a vote. And then she also was working with Christian. So he's trying to pull her in to work with the David and Goliath 3. I feel like if I was there and I saw the 3 of them on the tribe together, that would be a red flag where I'd be like, they need to be broken up immediately. I feel like that would be where my mind goes. Do you think that you would have wanted to break them up or
100%. First of all, duos you want to break up. If you have a power couple, you need to break that up because in small tribes, which they're starting to become smaller tribes now, powered couples are dangerous because that's a voting block. They have a power trio. 3 people from that they and Mike came out and said it. Mike was like, "Hey guys, I got to be honest with you. For only being here 24, there's no way I can write Christian or Angelina's name on a parchment." He's telling them, and he's telling the Q who has no vote. I'm like, one of us is dead in the water. We're in trouble. I don't.
yeah.
It'd be like we got to win. We got to win immunity, or else we're in trouble.
Yeah, that tribe was in a risky spot. So they get there, and Emily immediately goes to Q and Stephanie and starts telling them that Christian told her that Aubrey has the idol. She wasted no time, and you would think that they're on the same tribe after they swapped, that she would go to Christian and talk about it before maybe telling other people, but she didn't until after she already told everyone and then realized,
No,
oh, maybe I shouldn't have done that.
right. And Emily is very smart, and that's why it confused me. And you'd think that she would gravitate even then immediately to Christian and to Angelina and to Mike White because she's close to Christian. And it seemed like she didn't right away, which surprised me. And again, she's smart. She should be saying to herself, okay, we have the 3 David and Goliaths. Unless secretly she was saying we need to break them up. She could have been doing that, saying, as much as I love Christian I'm in his alliance in our former tribe, I got to break these 3 up because it's going to cause us problems later on. It
Mhm.
didn't seem that way, but who knows? But she definitely shouldn't have. She should have got, especially since Christian was there, she should have talked to him before she starts saying what he said to her.
Yeah. And I mean, even at the mat, like Christian telling her that in that kind of rush, do you think it would have been better if he just didn't say anything at all?
Yeah, sometimes ignorance is bliss. I don't think he should have said anything. It was too rushed, and he could have got caught. Too many chances. And the truth is, there could have been a chance she was on a tribe with one of them anyway, and she was.
Yeah.
And I probably wouldn't have told her. The similar thing happening on my season with Chanel. We wanted to tell her something that I had an idol, and that's why she couldn't lose a vote. And because I lost my vote for my idol, and we didn't have time, and we just didn't tell her because we couldn't get to her. We didn't try. We just let it go. And now that way ended up hurting us. But what people reason that's the difference between the new era and the old era. The old era was 39 days, so you had time, always had time to figure out how to talk to somebody. In the 26-day season, it's moving so fast. Things are happening so quick now because they have to, that you don't have the time that they used to have to figure out how to get to somebody. You either did it or you didn't do it.
Mhm. Yeah.
That's a good example of how the new era can be a lot harder than like old era Survivor. Because I know a lot of people talk about which one's harder. Like this one's more fast paced. That one, it's more days, whatever. But that's a really good example of how that's the case. With Christian telling Emily on the mat, I was surprised that Joe didn't like lock in on them because he was standing like right behind them, and he was
I
so
agree.
paranoid about people whispering back at camp, and that's like what started to get him wary about Devins. I thought it would have been so funny if they would have just like zoomed in on Joe's face and like made him look pissed off.
Yeah, to me, it's amazing that nobody hears the whispering that's going on because when you're out there,
Yeah.
you're tuned into, you're looking for things. And honestly, you're not even just looking for things to make sure that you don't miss. You're looking for things that people do so you can blame them for stuff. So that way you could take anything off of you and put it on them. Because when you're out there, you're always looking to make sure you're not the guy everybody's looking at that they want to get out. So you look for stuff on other people. Do you see the way that guy blinked? Oh my goodness, that means something. And you would just say it to somebody, and all you gotta do is put a thought in somebody's head, and there's always some level of paranoia with everybody out there to different extremes, but there's always some level of paranoia out there.
Mhm. And another kind of like switch up from Emily was for the past few episodes, she's been saying she wants to get Ozzy out. She doesn't want him here. But now on the Swap Tribe, she wants to work with Ozzy, which was an interesting switch up from her, I thought, from, what she's been saying. So I'm kind of confused where she truly stands with everyone,
Yeah,
especially then, with her decision.
Flipping.
Yeah.
She just keeps flipping.
And her name didn't get brought up. She escaped.
I know. Listen, sooner or later you get caught because people talk sooner or later, and you start, well, she told us this and she told us that. Um, but you know what? She's a lot of fun to watch.
Yeah.
yeah, I like her
She
better
is.
this season than I even did on 45. Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
I was a little confused about the Ozzy thing too, but I don't know. To me, I'm just kind of thinking like for Emily, she's probably thinking like one step ahead of everybody. And she's probably playing in her head, like, okay, what if this person goes home? Then who am I going to go to? I think it goes back to her just being like such a smart girly, you know?
Mhm.
Right. So you think that's possibly hurting her now because she's thinking too far ahead.
You know what? I didn't think about it like that, but it could, those kinds of things do sometimes hurt people because then they start getting rid of people that they don't need to be getting rid of like so soon and things like that. So I do think, yeah, like she might be thinking maybe like too deep into the game. And like, I don't know. I also think that people running around and talking to everyone is hurtful to their game. And like, I was kind of thinking that with Genevieve this episode. I wasn't thinking
Yes.
like with Emily. Emily, I thought was
Mhm.
building better actual connections, like for more of a reason. Like Genevieve's more just like, I'm going to talk to this person and be like, I'm not going to say your name. You're not going to say my name. And like, it was kind of giving Mike, I think it was on your season, was her name Swati? It was like,
Yes.
I'm saying everyone
Exactly the
number
same.
one. It was like the same kind of idea to me.
Yeah, and you know what they look, sometimes the edit, it clowns people, which definitely happened to me on my season, and it's funny, but they kind of showed her too. She did exactly what you said. She was going, I won't say your name, we'll look out for you. And they showed her doing it a bunch of times. And then at the end of it, she goes, look at Genevieve with the new social game. And actually, that's the worst thing you could do out there is put out so many feelers that you look like you're just jumping into, in an alliance with anybody, which is the worst thing you could do out there.
Mhm. And not only was she doing that, she was then telling people that she doesn't feel good about Aubrey and just name dropping her and just telling everybody
Yeah.
that, which was very risky because it did end up getting back to her through Tiffany.
Yeah.
So,
I always found that in Survivor that people that I didn't understand why people told other people that, particularly if they weren't in a tight alliance, how they felt about other players. Because what I out there, when you're out there, you feel. I was always careful, not realizing who spoke to who, because I knew, even though in my world out there, these certain people spoke to me and only me, but in reality, I knew they couldn't be, and they had to be. And somebody would use something I said against me, whether it be liking somebody or not liking somebody. So I always kind of kept what I felt about people, unless I was asked directly, to myself, especially if I didn't like somebody. I would make sure if I didn't like somebody, I would keep it close to the vest and I would watch them and I would make sure the person I talked to them about, I knew that they didn't either. Because, like you
mm,
said, you don't know.
yeah. The Gemini type says that they think Genevieve was trying to build relationships where Emily was burning people.
Interesting. I actually saw it. I didn't think. I actually saw it maybe almost the opposite. Like I see how Emily was burning people, but I think that she was like genuinely trying to find like her people, whereas Genevieve was going up to every single person and like trying to like be their number one kind of, or like make sure that she was good with that person, not necessarily to build anything, but just that was just her strategy, I guess. And to me, that strategy, for the reason that I said earlier, like it just feels like it doesn't really work out for people because we already saw it this episode get
It
back
never
to
works out.
Aubrey. Like it
Mhm.
already got back to
Yeah.
someone. So it's always going to get
Yeah.
back to someone.
But I thought Emily was doing the same thing. I thought Emily was telling too many people, like having these heart to hearts with them, and I really like you, and I feel good about you. And she did that
Yeah.
to another. You can only do that to so many people where people feel it's not genuine, especially if they talk to each other. And to be fair, they're only in that tribe for 24 hours, so everybody's on guard, and they're gonna talk, and they're gonna say, "Did Emily come up to you?" And, yeah, did Emily come? And you start putting two together. That's how quickly you can be put in a bad spot on a new tribe.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was very surprised that we didn't even see anyone mention her name because I feel like everyone knew what she was talking to everyone. She was telling everyone everything, and she really was that. I guess she wasn't really the swing vote because Q didn't have a vote, but like she visually, I guess, was the swing vote
Well,
between
and
them.
right, and her reality was she probably thought she was because she didn't know about Q's missing vote.
Yeah.
So she thought she was, so she played it as if she was.
Yeah. But also on that tribe, there's another interesting, well, not on that tribe, sorry, on the Callow tribe. There's an interesting group forming over there with Colby and Coach and Joe and Chrissy. And Colby and Coach talk about their little time during Heroes versus Villains. And then, Coach is thanking Joe for bringing up honor and integrity in 48. And he was saying that's why he's here today on 50. What do you guys think about this group of them? Do
So
we
I want
like
to make
it?
sure I'm clear because I heard that too, and I don't
Mhm.
think they explained why he said that. So is Coach saying he decided to come on 50 because he loved how Joe played and he'd have an opportunity to play with him?
I don't know.
I was
I
honestly like, I kind of had the same question. Like when he said that, I was a little confused. I was like, I
Right.
don't. I
So
think
if Joe wasn't coming on, and then again, how would he even know Joe was coming on? To be fair,
maybe he just liked how Joe was playing the game with the honor and integrity mindset, so maybe he felt okay coming into this season wanting to play the
right?
same way because
Yeah, you know what?
it
That's
was
fair. Maybe Coach was giving up, like saying, you know what, you can't play this game with honor and integrity. Nobody has it. It's not there. And then he watched Joe's season. He goes, oh my God, there's somebody that did. He did well, and maybe that's the reason. That makes more sense.
Yeah.
So I can come back with honor and integrity. You could still play Survivor that way,
Mhm.
which we all know none of us do. Even though I claimed I did, we all know it's impossible to go in a game that's about lying and deceitfulness and stabbing in the back and be honorable. It's impossible. But
Yeah.
I also feel if you play a game by the rules that are given to you and you stay within those rules without cheating, you are playing with honor and integrity.
Yep, that's a good
Yeah.
argument. I don't think I can argue with that.
Yeah.
All right, I feel better now.
And then, so we see Coach talk to Chrissy about how if they were still on the other tribe and they went to tribal, that she was probably going to be the person that was voted out because she was, rubbing people the wrong way.
Yeah.
She was talking too much. And we see Chrissy get emotional about this. Mike, what did you think about this moment between the two of them?
I honestly I felt so bad for Chrissy. I think she's a really good person. I think she's doing what she does best. She's good at being a mom and taking care of people. I love Coach. I thought he could have told her a little nicer and he could have told her in a much better environment. I didn't like the with the hands he was doing. It felt snappy to me. And I love Coach. And I'm sure he's not a mean person. So he wasn't saying it to be mean, but she took it. It would have hurt my feelings. And I would
Mhm.
like to think I'm tougher than Chrissy and it would hurt my feelings. It meant, because the truth is everybody wants to be liked. And when you feel that you're not liked, it hurts you no matter what. You can have a tough experience, say, yeah, I don't care what. But at the end of the day, most people want to be liked. And I think that person, I don't think people felt she wasn't a good survivor player. I think she took it as people didn't like her as a person, which is not cool because she is a very nice person.
Yeah, I agree with that. It's hard enough to hear somebody say something that like you're doing wrong, but two things make it even harder. One, if you genuinely don't know that what you're doing is bothering people, and I really think that she thought she was just being nice to these people, and that part really kind of hurt my heart for her.
Me too.
And then
Mhm.
also, I think the other piece of it is just simply like she's on like a world stage. Like she's like in front of all these cameras and she knows that everyone is going to see this and she's going to be painted as like, just like an annoying mom who really has like nothing else to offer or something. And she knows that she's more than that. And that part I think also really made me sad. I'm rooting for Chrissy. I actually wasn't really like a Chrissy, like I didn't dislike her in her original season. She wasn't particularly like my favorite player that I was like really rooting for that season for some reason. I don't even know why. But this season I find myself kind of like wanting her to like pick herself up and really show us what she's made of. Kind of similar to Aubrey, but maybe we'll get to
Yeah.
Aubrey a little bit.
Tori, I
Yeah.
feel exactly the same way. I She was right in the middle for me as a player. During her season, I didn't hate her, I didn't love her. She was just there. This season, I find myself rooting for her. And the truth is, in real life, she's probably is like that. But in real life, people love that. Young
Mhm.
people love getting out. But when you're starving and you're sleeping on the ground or on bent bamboo, and you hear people helping you out, it can annoy you. So, a little bit of that's probably coming into play here too, where normally nobody would care if she was telling them to help out, but because you're a little grouchy and you're playing the game for competition, big season, it annoys you a lot quicker. But I'm pulling. I felt very bad for her. I'm pulling for her big time now.
Yeah, like the Gemini type said, Chrissy said maybe she needed that to, I guess, get her head in the game a little more. And I think it is good that Coach told her, especially now that she's away from pretty much every other person that was on that tribe, kind of. So like now she knows what their mindset was without the threat of like, okay, I'm gonna be the next to go. Because she's kind of in a good spot with this group of four, I think. I think that
Yeah.
that group of four will stick together on that tribe for sure. So hopefully it was some.
You don't think Coach and Kobe will get annoyed at each other at some point? You think that's going to be a strong alliance?
I don't know. I kind of think so.
I
I
love
don't
it.
know. Yeah. Tori? What do you think? Do you think the four of them will stick together?
You mean Coach's alliance currently?
Yeah.
Okay. Um, I and are you including Chrissy in this? Just to be clear.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
Chrissy,
I
Joe,
think
Coach, and Colby.
they look at some other options. I think Chrissy will be the deciding factor there. I don't see the guys flipping on each other until maybe like they realize what happens with the first vote. Like if obviously like Chrissy turns on them and one of them ends up getting voted out, or they're just simply blindsided by like Chrissy going a different direction than like what they thought, then I can see them opening their eyes a little bit and playing a little differently. But right now, I don't see them going any other way. Now, I was thinking that Chrissy would for sure go with like the women, or again, just like maybe look at some other options if it kind of came to that. But she's been saying, and like, I don't know, on social media, I've been seeing today that like she was so loyal to Coach, and she like feels so good about Coach and their friendship. And so I wonder if they do end up sticking together during the season.
Yeah. I could see that. I feel like I was gonna say like maybe the girls will stick together, but I feel like they're so fractured now with Genevieve mentioning Aubrey's name to everyone and that whole thing where I don't think there's a world where the four of them come together.
Yeah, I don't know. You're right.
Yeah, they're setting us up for something.
Yeah. But then on the New Sela tribe, I feel like this was probably one of my favorite moments in the episode when we see Rizzo asking Charlie if he still talks to Maria. I thought that was so funny and unexpected to like hear on the episode. And then seeing their conversation on the hammock where Rizzo's telling Charlie about the idol, and then us seeing the little flashback of the night before where Rizzo was talking about who he voted in the finals and who his closest ally was and how he voted for Savannah over Sophie. And Charlie was like, oh, I don't like that. You didn't vote for your friends. You didn't vote for your closest ally. I thought that was so funny. And I thought that was just a great scene. What did the two of you think of this moment between Charlie and Rizzo?
I thought it was a great scene too. And the Riz God wasn't thinking. He exactly did what pissed Charlie off, and he's not talking to Maria for. And he should have. He's a fan, super fan. But this is another case of where a player is talking, and sometimes you talk too much and you say stuff that you think is innocent and just throwing stuff out there, and it winds up biting you on the butt. That's why it's sometimes if you have nothing good to say or don't just throw random things out there because you're gonna piss somebody off, even if it's something as innocent as that. But quite frankly, Riz God should have known and realized, because he asked him the question about Maria. Charlie's best friend on his season didn't vote for him, and he told him that's exactly what he did.
Yeah.
Classic.
A little lack of self-awareness we saw there. I don't know why Rizzo didn't say, and like again, he obviously wasn't being self-aware, so I think I have my answer, but I guess I'm confused still why he didn't say like, oh, well, Savannah and I worked closely together, because that's not going to hurt him in this game anymore. They know that Savannah got voted out. Like, she's gone.
Yeah.
Nobody's worried about them teaming back up. So I don't know why he didn't like mention that and then be like, oh, and there was also this girl, Sophie. I don't know. I was just a little questioning of that.
Yes.
Yeah. It was kind of surprising that he didn't mention Savannah because, like you said, like she's already voted out. Like it doesn't matter at this point.
I agree.
But I don't know. I thought that was very funny, and I thought like it'll be interesting to see how that actually does play out because Charlie's like Rizzo cannot see the jury bench. Like he cannot be there.
Yes.
He
I
cannot
gotta be
review
honest,
that
I
in.
love one of my favorite scenes ever with Charlie. That scene when he sits there and he's got the smirk and he says, "This guy just told me he cannot be on the jury."
That was so good. You know what else? Like this season, I've noticed that they've done this a couple of times now. I love when they show like players' wheels turning. Like they did that with Charlie, and he was like sitting there like thinking back to like
Yes.
the worst moment in his Survivor career when he like was runner up or when he found out that Maria didn't vote for him. And then we also saw that with Coach when like they were talking about what Ozzy said and how Ozzy was saying that he wasn't playing with honor and integrity or that he cheated at the game with the key. I just like am loving that.
Me too. I especially love Coach's face. You could see him just grinding right then.
Oh my God, yeah.
Which
so
honestly, Coach is one of my favorite players of all time.
so good. He's so entertaining.
So great.
I'm just looking at the comments. The Gemini type said, I hope they showed us that because Charlie gets Rizzo out. Maybe some foreshadowing.
That would be awesome.
Um, yeah, and then the funny part is Rizzo had worked with Savannah from day one, so it made sense why he didn't vote for Sophie, but clearly never explained that to Charlie. That's the other thing. Like, we know what happened in 49, so like, we saw it, but everyone else doesn't know. So I feel like, yeah, he definitely was a
But
little
that even makes it
unaware.
more crazy why Rizzo said that.
Yeah.
Well, and he's friends. Like from what I see on social media and what we saw in the game, especially, like he's super close with Savannah as well. Like
Mhm.
it
Yes.
looks to me like they're like equal, like she and Sophie in terms of like who he's closest with. So I was confused. I was very confused.
He wasn't
I was
thinking.
confused though. And yeah, I don't understand where that came from. And again, another case of saying stuff just to say it and it comes to bite you on the butt.
Yes, it did.
Yeah. And then let's see. Jay West also said, I think Rizzo gave up too much information to Charlie. And then, yeah. And then he
Well, we
thinks
all know
more
Rizzo likes
people.
to talk. That's why.
Yeah.
Rizzo likes to tell us how great
He
he is.
does.
He loves it.
Yeah.
Loves it, which is great too. I love it too, though.
He's good
Mhm.
TV. He really
And
is.
I feel
Great
like
team.
when we first saw him talking to Charlie about the idol, like I was like, okay, this is good. Like this is gonna be good for him. He's gonna have an ally. And then to see that flashback, that was just really good editing.
Yeah.
But also on that tribe, we see Dee and Jonathan talking about Suri, and we hear Dee saying like her friend told her like if you're ever on a tribe with Suri, like she has to go, she has to be the first one out. And her and Jonathan kind of agree like if they go, Suri should be the target. And I mean, we already saw this in the first episode with Jenna coming for Suri and what happened with that. Do you think if they had gone to tribal that Suri potentially could have been the target here?
I think Suri's always potentially the target. I
Mm.
think she always is. Everybody knows that they should get her out. Everybody wants to get her out, but it seems that Suri has this magic potion that she puts over people and makes them think, "Oh, I don't want Suri out. I don't need Suri out. We need Suri for us." And they all change their mind. But that just shows how great of a social player Suri is because she gets a lot of slack for not being good at challenges. She gets a lot of slack sometimes for her strategic game, but there's no doubting that she's one of the greatest social players ever in Survivor history because she survives and she pulls in these alliances and she gets people to give out idols at tribal council. It's she Dee's friend is right. Dee's friend, her best friend is saying, "You need to get Suri out. Trust me." And then Dee's like this, "I don't know, but I want to keep her now." It's like she's in a trance. It's
Yeah.
crazy.
No, it's so funny. Like we were kind of saying this before we went live, everyone, but I'll say it again. Like I like in the first episode, especially, I was like, I cannot believe they didn't go for Suri. Like they might not get another opportunity for a while. Like she could build these relationships. She's so good at the game. And we're seeing that, of course. But I do think that if I was out there, and I think that some of the, especially like new era players, are kind of maybe feeling a little bit of this. Like you're out there, right? And you're with all these great iconic players. I personally would be fangirling. And if I was on a tribe with Suri, I'd be like, I will do whatever you say, my queen. Like,
Well, that's what happened to her on Australian Survivor. She
Yeah.
had I forget the girls, but she
Lisa.
fangirled the whole season
Mhm.
and saved her butt the whole time.
Yeah,
Yeah.
she gave up her game for Suri. And Bruce said, if you have met her, you would not vote her out. She's amazing. I believe
Bruce
it.
don't know what he's talking about.
Hi, Bruce. Love you.
We love Bruce.
So, what is it like watching Jonathan play? Because you played with Jonathan, you're on the same season. What is it like seeing him back now? I'm watching.
We haven't seen the best of Jonathan yet, I don't think. Because honestly, seeing Jonathan in real life and on TV are two different things. And I think everybody will say this when you watch him out there, it's the most amazing physical things you can see him do that is now being taken for granted because he does it so normally. There's nothing he can't do physically, and if his game, his strategic and his social game get better, I mean, people better watch out. Jonathan, to me, is laying low right now, and he's ready to play the game.
Yeah. I was hoping we would have more Jonathan content to talk about in this episode, but I feel like this was really all we got from him.
Yes,
Talking
they
about
gave us one
sorority.
scene with him about, and all he do
Yeah.
is nodding his head to D. Oh yes, we have to get. But I actually think in my head it was more Jonathan's idea than D's, and it
Mhm.
looked the other way around.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you're right about that. You know, what sucks about, especially on returnee seasons like this, the people that are like so physically dominant, especially, but like just like challenge beasts in general, even if they're like really good at puzzles or whatever aspect of the challenge they're good at, they're going to keep winning and their tribe is going to keep doing super well. And therefore, we end up like not seeing them as much, you know? So
Right,
Yeah.
I'm sad that we haven't seen much of Jonathan, much of D, much of Tiff, like people like that. But
right.
we
You
gotta
know,
remember it's because they're so good
right,
at these challenges. Like they gotta get worse at challenges.
right. Well, I saw Coach made a good point. I saw him comment on one of these things, and he said you get to see the people more that lose because they're going to tribal, they're fighting for their spots, so you get to see them more. So like when you see confessionals and who how much you see a person on TV with are they being purple? Maybe they're winning. The winning teams don't get shown a lot. It's it's the people that are losing that have the much more entertaining storyline. So we're watching them more. So I think as the season goes on and the people start to dwindle, we're going to start seeing a lot of people that we haven't seen and have great storylines with them.
Yeah.
Fingers crossed.
Yes.
Definitely.
We don't want anybody to go that we still haven't seen enough of. That's for sure.
Mhm. Yeah. And then so we get to the challenge. They're blindfolded where someone's guiding them through, and it ends with a puzzle. And then we see that I forgot what tribe name it
By
was.
the way, we had this exact same challenge on my season.
Oh, I didn't remember that.
Yes. And
The
I
new
almost
Vatu tribe. Oh, sorry.
yes.
Go
No, I
ahead.
was gonna say I cracked my head too, and I almost had a concussion like Colby did.
Oh my
Oh no.
god.
Yeah, it
That's,
looks
Yeah,
like he hit his head hard.
I think I chipped my tooth on that. I think High chipped my tooth on that one.
Oh
hey,
no.
Yeah. It's
y'all got
That's
it's
beat up.
very
dangerous.
dangerous out there, ladies. It's very dangerous.
Yeah, those blindfold challenges, like not only like it's hard for me to see somebody like hit their head when they're like they have completely no idea what's in front of them.
Yeah.
I'm personally not a huge fan of blindfold challenges, like just to watch them.
Me
So
either.
you
And
really can't
honestly,
see anything through
no.
the
So
buff?
what they do is they actually put a black blindfold on first and then the buff over it.
Um,
So you really, and then they come almost to the bottom of your nose where just your nostrils are shown. So you can't even see light at all. I mean,
okay.
That's
Wow.
scary.
it's really blackened out. Yes.
Yeah, wow. Yeah, definitely dangerous. It looks like he hit his head really hard. I guess he's okay because we didn't see any
Yeah.
more from him, so
Right.
that's
It was kind
good.
of funny, to be honest with you.
Well, I mean, I was worried about him at first, but like once we kind of knew he was okay,
He
like
was
there was
okay.
no medical,
Yeah.
like let's stop.
He did the double fall too. When he did it, he did it. Oh, and then he got up again. Then up again.
Yeah.
He did the double flop.
Poor Colby. It's all bad.
He did. So we see the new Vatu tribe loses and is going to tribal council. So back at camp, we see a little bit of the scramble where we hear that Mike is going to vote for Stephanie. And then they're like, well, if you're voting for me, I'm sure the other two are going to vote for me. And then we have a conversation with Mike and Q where he says, vote for me instead. He's like, I have an extra vote. Vote for me because he's trying to protect Stephanie.
Yeah, but
Which
how?
I don't know.
Q is so crazy. How
Yes.
is you saying vote for me protecting Stephanie?
I don't understand that either. I didn't understand how, in what way he was protecting her besides just getting himself voted out. As soon as he said that, I was like, this isn't going to be good for him. Because unlike on 46, like they're actually going to vote you out.
Yeah, I honestly didn't understand. Like, and he did a confessional during it where he was saying like, the only person that's going to vote my number one out is me. And how you gonna do that by taking yourself out? I just didn't understand it. I mean, Q is crazy. Sometimes when he's talking, I'm like, what's he saying? But I love it.
I
Yeah.
think in his mind, like at first, and he probably like realized this after he said it. I think in his mind, he was like, "Oh, Mike will vote me, but everybody else will still vote Stephanie. So maybe we'll have the numbers. But obviously,
He don't have a vote. He knows it.
I think maybe saying that initially, that could have been his thought process.
Yeah.
As soon as the words left his mouth, like you can kind of see it in his face too. Like he was probably like, he
What?
kind of looked like.
That's why he threw the extra vote in.
Yeah, but okay. Let's play this out then. So he says he has an extra vote. So if Mike really wanted to get Stephanie out, why would he take one of the votes away from Stephanie and put it on Q, knowing that Q then had 2 votes?
Right.
And it would make him worse for him. But if anything, he says, yeah, throw him on Stephanie. It doesn't matter. I have an extra vote.
Yeah, none of it makes
Yeah,
sense.
no, it
Like,
didn't make
none of it
sense.
makes sense.
If
Yeah.
anything, Q made it easier for Mike because Mike said like Stephanie was like a decoy vote, but we're actually going to vote Q, and Q
Yes.
just gave him the okay to vote him out. So
True. And that's the truth. If something happened where Q, didn't get voted up by some crazy thing, Mike says, hey, Q, why didn't you let me in on what was going on? You told me to vote for you. I would have did whatever you wanted.
yeah, and Mike kind of mentioned it, how he was friends with Ozzy from meeting him at a restaurant or whatever, and they had
Was that surprising to you guys?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Me too.
I had
Like,
It
how
was
does Mike White
surprising.
meet Ozzy as a manager of a restaurant somewhere in California before it's being both of them on Survivor?
Yeah, that was crazy.
Yeah, I loved it.
Like it had to have been before even Ozzy was on the show, right? Like
It had to be, right? It had to be like 35 years ago.
yeah, that's so crazy. That's such a long time.
It was so funny. I was not expecting it to be like, oh, I met him at a restaurant. I thought they were going to know each other from being on Survivor. So that was
Yeah,
definitely
I
a
got to
plot
know
twist.
I got to know Ozzy after his season. We hung out a little bit because
Yeah.
no, he was a manager of a restaurant that I used to go to. And we hit it off.
Yeah, no, it's so funny.
So much
crazy.
so much for Ozzy not having a social game, huh?
Yeah, see?
Seriously.
He was working on it for way longer.
Yes.
But with that, I feel like that definitely also probably played a role in what happened with the vote because of that relationship that they didn't show, but I'm sure that helped
Yes.
in the outcome. So let's go to Tribal and talk about that a little bit. So going into it, did either of you have an idea of who was going to go, or did you also think it was kind of up in the air that maybe it's going to be Q, maybe it's going to be Angelina? Did we think Angelina was the right person to go for in that trio?
I didn't think Angelina was going home at all. I thought those 3 were going to stay together. I never got the feeling. To me, I thought it was going to be Q or Stephanie.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I figured it would be Q for sure. Even though I feel like they focused a little more on the possibility of Angelina. What told me that probably wasn't going to happen was honestly like the edit. I was like, we have barely seen Angelina. They're not going to give her nothing on this season. Like, I feel like if someone's going to get voted out, we at least like have that person in the spotlight for the episode that they get voted out. And she wasn't even really in the spotlight. Like, we saw more of her, but not enough for her to get voted out.
And I gotta say, I'm loving. I know we haven't seen a ton of Angelina, but I'm loving her on this season. I wasn't such a big fan of her first season, but I'm loving her on this season. I don't know why. I think she's playing great. I think, like she said, she's a different person.
Yeah, she's staying under the radar, which
Yes,
I think is smart of her because, like, I don't know, she was kind of under the radar for a bit in her first season, but she couldn't help but to like speak up every chance
she
she
couldn't
had
help it.
that season.
She couldn't help to negotiate every day.
Right. This season, like, we're seeing her hold back a little bit. I was even going as far as to say, like, she was almost holding back too much early on, or at least that's what we were seeing. But now I think we're seeing, like, some of her games start to come out, and she's starting to, like, work her magic a little bit, work on some relationships, things like that.
Yeah. And we saw, oh my gosh, I forgot what I was going to say. It like completely left. Oh, we see like the one person that was very vocal against her in the last episode in Q be the person that, ends up going in this episode. She really gets out the one person that was kind of against her anyway. So I feel like that was good for her. It worked out.
Absolutely,
Yes, I agree. And obviously their alliance is very well intact and they're stronger now.
Yeah. Do you think Q going was the right move over Stephanie?
Mike White said it right. You know, Q is such a dynamic player, and he's such um, a crapshoot of what he can do. And Stephanie is rigid. She's this kind of player. She's a good player, but she's a straight arrow. You know where she's coming from. Again, Q, you don't know what he's going to do. And if he's in your alliance, the worst thing you can have is somebody in your alliance and you're not sure what they're capable of doing at any time, which can blow up your alliance. And he doesn't let you in on it. So to me, if I'm out there, as strong as Q can be in challenges, the social aspect is to me extremely important. And if you can't trust somebody socially, they can't be there. You can't be in their alliance.
Right.
Yeah, he's very unpredictable.
I do
Yes.
think I agree with you 100%, Mike. And I do think that with the options that they had in terms, like with the alliance of David versus Goliath plus Emily and Ozzy, I guess, in that alliance, like their only real options were to get out somebody that's good at challenges. So it was kind of like, why not go for that person that, yeah, you're right, like is unpredictable over the person that like we can kind of guess what her next move is going to be.
Right.
Mhm.
I agree with that.
Yeah. So ultimately, Q goes home. I was actually kind of sad to see him go because I thought he's very entertaining when he's on camera with everything he does. And somehow he was a little less chaotic this time than last time.
So do you guys think he's like that in real life?
He
Do you
has
think
to
that's
be.
Q really, or is there part of it's an act for? Because sometimes it's so crazy to me. I'm like, how could he be like this? He's obviously successful.
Mhm.
Can he be like this all the time?
I
I
think
think he
that's
has
him.
like I don't think he's so like I think the word everybody's been using to describe Q is like chaotic. I
Mhm.
don't think that he's probably like chaotic in real life, but I think he probably is like a goofball and likes to, like maybe I don't know if take risks is the right word, but just sort of like, do things that are gonna get a laugh or, something like that. I think that he probably is like that, but I don't think that he necessarily is like running around being like, I don't know, a stir of drama.
Yes.
Yeah. And he wore the Q skirt on his way out, so at least we got to see that in the season. But any final thoughts on the episode before we get into social hour?
No, I thought it was. I think the episode was good. It kind of reminded me of like a Seinfeld episode where it's a lot about nothing.
Yeah.
It's entertaining, but the whole
Mhm.
episode overall, except for the merge, was really just a lot of seeing people act and how they and but it's entertaining. We didn't see anything emerge where we could say like, "Oh my God, look what's going to happen now." It was a
Yeah.
lot about just socially talking and bringing up different things that would go on.
Yeah. It was a lot of setup maybe for future
Yes.
episodes.
I was just about to say it was a lot of planting of seeds. Um, I thought that Q, excuse me, I thought that skew. I said skew now. Wow,
Yeah.
I'm like having a tough time getting the word out. I thought that Q was one of like the best casting choices on this
Mhm.
season. I mean, like, how could you not cast him? I like knew the second he was on 46, like this guy's gonna come back. Like he's
Yeah.
gonna be back on Survivor. I was rooting for him all of 46. I was like, what if Q makes it to the end? What if Q ends up winning and pulling this thing off? Like every time he like did something crazy, I was like, but what if it works? So that's kind of what I was thinking this season too. And he was doing really well for a while. Like this
Mhm.
episode, obviously, like he made a big blunder by like telling Mike to vote him out, even though that was going to be their plan anyway. But we saw some of his gameplay that was like questionable. So that was like the only thing. But I'm really going to miss him.
Yeah. Me too.
He is good TV.
He is. Okay, we're going to go to a quick commercial and then when we get back, it'll be time for social hour. So send in any questions you have for us, for Mike, anything about the episode, and we'll get to them right after this.
Welcome to Bracketology, fantasy sports for reality TV. We run fantasy football and bracket style games for some of your favorite reality TV shows, Survivor included. Here's a quick tutorial on how you can play for free or play to win potentially some cash prizes. Our free-to-play season-long leagues operate just like fantasy football. You're going to want to play bracketology with friends. You can create a league, make it public or private, or join one of our many partner public leagues. We even have a fantasy football specific style game called the Advanced Game. We have 2 weekly elimination style games, Confidence Pool and Week to Week. Our last game is a first impression bracket. Make your picks of who you think will get eliminated at each tribal all the way down to the winner. New daily prediction pools. You can enter a pool with bucks. Once won from our pool contests are redeemable for real cash prizes. Shout out to the Survivor Now crew. They've been supporting us from the beginning. Download the Bracketology app for free in the App Store. Thank you, Survivor Now, and thank you everyone for participating.
Okay, it's time for social hour. So let's get into some questions that were sent in. So first, who do you think Suri can work with on Sela at this point? Let's see. Let's look at the tribe again. So it's Charlie D, Rizzo, Camilla, Jonathan, Suri, and Devins. Definitely
Anybody
Devins.
she wants. Anybody she wants to. She'll put the trance on them.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
I think she could have Rizzo.
I think she
easy.
could have Tiffany. I think she could have D after hearing what D said.
Yeah.
I don't think is Tiff on that
Tiffany's
tribe?
not on. No,
Oh, I
she's
thought she
not.
was.
She's on
I'm
the Cattle
sorry.
Tribe.
I think she can have Camilla.
I think she could have Camilla too. You're right.
If
She could work with anyone. Yeah.
Charlie wants to get out Rizzo, he might go to Suri and be like,
Mhm.
"What do I do? Work your magic."
True.
Yeah.
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 I think you're
Okay.
right though. Anyone. She can work with anyone.
Yeah. She's good like that.
Yeah, she'll see what her needs are and she'll figure it out and she'll start spinning her web, which is amazing.
Yeah.
Which we love to see that setup, don't we? Because you see it coming.
Yeah. Like we saw in the last episode, the way what she did with Savannah and everything.
It's so subtle, right?
Yeah. Okay, let's see. Who do you think will find the Callow boomerang idol?
Who do we have on Callow? Who's on Callow again?
Aubrey, Joe, Genevieve, Coach, Chrissy, Colby, and Tiffany.
I don't know who's gonna find it, but I want Coach to find it so bad.
Oh my god, that would be awesome. I
It
kinda
would
want
be.
Tiffany to find it. I kind of want.
Who do you think he would send it to if he found it?
Definitely not none of the alphas. Because he wants to work with all of them.
Yeah.
Who does he?
I don't know.
Maybe he would send it.
Maybe
to
Jonathan.
Oh.
Well, no, I think he wouldn't send it to Jonathan because he doesn't want Jonathan to be voted out.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, true.
Maybe he would send it to Suri.
That's a good point.
Oh. Yeah.
So let me ask you a question. Can he send it to Ozzy, even though Ozzy has one? He would want Ozzy to be out, that's for sure.
Oh, yeah. That's
So
true.
you're looking at the idol as more of like, who do I want out and who am I gonna try to get voted out if like we make it to the merge together so that I can get the idol.
Absolutely. Because to me,
okay.
okay. No, I want to hear what you think because I want to see.
So I think you're right that I think Coach would think of it like that, but that I don't think that's how Christian was thinking of it.
Okay, so so give me what you think his insight because I'm having a hard time finding it.
So I think that Christian wants a relationship with Aubrey and thinks that she's someone that would like appreciate the idol and be loyal to him down the road. And I think that like even if she found out about the boomerang aspect of it all, I think that she wouldn't mind if like she ends up getting voted out. Let's say like after the merge, they make it like Devins and Christian are able to come together. I think that in the event that she got voted out, she would want one of them to have it anyway. You know what I mean? And she knows that they're not going to try to get her out. That's what I think in terms of Christians.
See, I think, and this is the way I would think is if somebody gave it to me and we're playing a game where you can't trust anybody and you're sending me an idol that you get back if I'm voted out, I'm thinking you have to vote me out. You have to sooner or later because only one person can win, no matter how much you like everybody out there, and you want you to win. So you got to do whatever it takes for you to win. And again, honor and integrity is you're playing by the rules and you're playing a better game by doing it that way.
Mm.
Yeah. No, I mean, that's exactly like I would immediately, like, once I found out, like, let's say I'm Aubrey and I get the boomerang idol, I'm immediately thinking, okay, I'm against that person. Like, get this thing,
100%.
let me play it as soon as I can. But I think in
Mhm.
Aubrey's case, like, she just wants so badly to have an ally. So I think that as long
Yeah.
as they can spin it, even if they're lying, but as long as they can spin it like, hey, I want to work with you. Here's how I think we can use this and work together to use it and things like that. If they can spin it like that with her, she's going to be sold. Because, like, the second that Tiffany opened the door for her, she was sold 100% right away. Like, it didn't take much to get Aubrey on Tiffany's
Right.
side.
So, all right. So
Yeah.
let me ask you guys a question. Obviously, people are talking about the boomerang idol. It's going to get around to all the players sooner or later. And I mean, probably within a couple of days. If you're Aubrey or Ozzy, do you use that idol right away? Or do you bank on yourself not being voted out and hold it for as long as you can?
Are you
I
saying
think
only if we find out about the boomerang aspect?
Yes. Like you found out. They're going to find out. And you know that the person gets it back if you get voted off. And you feel a merge is coming. I think you
if
got to
I
use
found,
it.
yeah, I was gonna say,
Or,
I think
yeah,
if I found out, I would use it for sure.
me too.
I
I would
think
burn
that's
it.
what I do.
I would, and honestly, if I felt super, super safe, I might say it doesn't matter if I have it. But if you feel even in a little inkling. So when I had my idol, I always said, I got my idol. It makes me feel, it's like a great insurance policy. If I ever feel something, feel like an imminent threat coming, I'm using it. I don't care. But
Mhm.
if I felt like an inkling, I go, no, no, no. I'm not gonna let the paranoia get me. I'm gonna hold it still. And I remember saying that. But in this case, I would have said, I got nothing to lose here. I'm playing it. I'm not even taking a chance because I'm not only gonna get voted out with an idol in my pocket. I'm actually give them back and they were trying to hurt me. I'm gonna make sure they don't get it either.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and I think if I'm Aubrey in any situation, like even if I don't know that this thing can boomerang back to Devins or Christian or whoever she's told it came from, even if I don't know that, I think Aubrey is playing it. Like if I'm Aubrey, I'm playing it at the next tribal council if my tribe goes because she knows she's on the bottom. She knows she doesn't really have anyone. Even if she gets Tiffany, like she still knows that Genevieve's running around saying her name. So I feel like she's gonna get some votes at the next tribal anyway. So even if she doesn't know about the boomerang, I think she's playing that thing and it's gonna be gone.
So let me ask you another
100%.
question. Now you just brought up Christian and Devins. Do you think that Christian told Devins to take credit for the boomerang so that way when Aubrey finds out, she blames Devins and not Christian?
Ooh,
Ooh,
I didn't think
maybe.
I did
Yeah.
not think about that.
Yeah.
I thought it was simply just to take heat off of Christian so that they didn't think like, oh, like he's not only smart, he's not only charming, but he's also running around looking for idols and finding them. Like what?
Right. Or he doesn't
Yeah.
want, he wants to make sure Aubrey doesn't think it's him
Yeah, no, that's
and get mad at him and he can work with her. And secretly, he's the one that did it. And now Devins is the one they think has it. And so they try and vote Devins out. And then if they get Aubrey out, Christian gets the idol back without ever taking a slack for finding it.
wow, you just made
Oh,
such a
yeah.
good point. And if that's the case, if that was part of Christian's thought
Oh my
process,
God, we bow to Christian.
he's conniving. Christian, you're
Yeah.
conniving, but I love it.
Yes. Me
It
too.
really, yeah, it wouldn't be good for the person to know that you gave it to them because I feel like the first thing they're gonna think is, oh, they want me out, or they think I was gonna
Exactly.
go next. Yeah,
And so it's smart if Christian did that.
it's smart. Yeah, that'll be interesting to find out. Yeah. Okay, and one more question is, if Mike, if you were on a returnee season, would you want to swap with people you originally played with,
When you say, I'm not sure what swap means.
like tribe swap or end up on a
Oh,
tribe with people that you played with?
100%. Yes.
Yeah.
Because you know what? It's weird because, you know, it's like if you come from a certain town and I come from Hoboken. So in Hoboken, we all fight with each other. You know, we have different blocks and we fight with each other. But if somebody from a different town came into Hoboken and wanted to fight with me, everybody in Hoboken would fight on my side. I feel the same way with Survivor. We can fight all we want amongst ourselves in season 42. But if we go against other seasons, we're sticking together. That's what. Yeah.
Yeah.
So 100%.
Yeah, that's fair. At least especially before merge, I think you definitely would stick together.
Yes. And one
Then
thing
maybe
I
after
learned,
merge.
if you don't want somebody there you there's no consequences of getting somebody voted out before the merge. Do it.
Mm.
Do it. Because it's there's a consequence after the merge in so many different ways and different layers.
Yeah, it's true. Tori, what do you think? Would you want to, if you were on, would you want to be swapped with people you already knew?
It would depend on who the people are, but I like to think that even if I was like at odds with somebody from my season and we came back and played the same season, I like to think that we'd be able to put our differences aside and be like, listen, like we're both trying to advance in the game. We don't have anybody else, or like we need to
Right.
build reliance off of something.
Yeah.
Let's just come together.
And you make a deal. We get the final six. We bring each other, we help each other to the final six, and then the gloves are off.
Yeah, and then
Yeah.
stab me in the back. I don't care.
Yep. Then you stab me in the back. I can
Fair.
handle it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
What about you,
for
Cara?
sure. I agree. I think I would want to be with the people. We'd work together, and then down the line, then we could vote each other
Then
out
we
if
can
we
hate
wanted.
each other later.
Yeah, as long as we get to like further on in the game first.
Just like life, you work with someone for a little while on something, and you're like, okay, we can be friends for a bit, and then we can go back to
True.
hating each other.
Yeah. Okay. I think it's time for Social Butterfly. I'm excited to get into it. So. Okay, so Social Butterfly, who do you think did best socially in just this episode? Not the first two, just this one. So I know we were talking about it a little earlier, but do either of you want to go first?
Go
I
for
mean,
it.
I have to give it to Christian. For me, and honestly, I hate it being so obvious. I want to pick somebody where you guys go like, "Oh my God, we didn't even think of that." But Christian, to me, has become extremely charming, extremely funny, extremely likable in every episode, but particularly this one. Again, he's playing a very, very social game, and he's likable. And to me, from his first season, I thought he came strictly as like a bot. The genius, and he was calculating all the time. This one, he's funny, he's making jokes, he's talking to people, and yet he's still being very strategic. So I think Christian, without a doubt, you are my social butterfly.
I love that.
Great one. Tori?
All right, so I thought of this person, and I know that this person made some mistakes this episode, and we didn't like some of the things that she did, but I think overall she did pretty well socially, and I'm going to go ahead and give it to Emily Flippin. So I know that she was like flipping around, she was going back and forth, like maybe she didn't garner as much respect from Stephanie or people that she was kind of like wishy-washy with. However, I do think that everybody at some point in this episode wanted to work with her, and she was talking to everybody. Now, obviously, some of those conversations did not go well for her, or like they did not look that good from the outside, or like from an outsider's perspective. But I do think that she was able to talk herself out of some of the trouble that she could have gotten herself in. So I'm going to go ahead and give it to Emily.
Okay. I like it. I was also thinking maybe Emily potentially. I think for mine, we didn't see too much of this person, but I think what we did see, I think ended up being good socially. So my social butterfly for this episode is going to be Coach, just for the conversation that mainly for the conversation he had with Chrissy. I feel like that was a overall good moment for him, building that relationship with Chrissy, that he told her like they didn't trust you, like these are some things maybe you need to work on going forward. And I think she really appreciated that. And also I think that he is in a good spot on his new tribe with Joe, with Colby, and I think he's just gonna do well socially with them going forward. And I feel like we saw the start of it in this episode. So
I like it.
Yeah.
I love Coach.
Yeah. Excited to see what's next. And that's it. That's it for this episode. That's it. Yeah.
That was quick. I was having fun.
I know, same.
I know. It was a lot of fun. Thank you so much for joining us. It was so fun to get to talk to you.
Thank you so much. It was a great time. I love doing this. And I appreciate you guys having me on. I'm always humbled by these things, so thank you.
Of course.
And yeah, anytime. And let me just run through our shows coming up this week. So tomorrow, Stock Watch on Friday at 1 p.m., we have Katora joining Will and Josh. And then on Sunday at 5 p.m., got something for you. Sophie Segretti from season 49 will be joining Ollie, Matthew, and Phil. And then we also are covering Australian Survivor. We have episodes 7, 8, and 9 out now, and exit interviews, and new episodes come out every Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. So stay tuned for that. But thank you so much for tuning in. Remember to subscribe, follow us on Instagram, and we will see you next week. Remember to stay social.